We are now ready to begin Module 4, all about Flexi assessments. Flexi assessments are specific to our New South Wales subscribers. We're going to show you how to create a new Flexi, add a Flexi to manage class assessments, and preview, edit, or add Flexis from your school bank of Flexis. Let's take a look at the ways Flexis can be created and used for your subscription. So Flexi assessments are available in mathematics and English. They can now be assigned as a multi-strand pre and post assessment, and you can choose up to 2 stage ranges. The suggestion we have is that Flexis can be used after you have collected data from a common grade or substrand pre-assessment. So these are the various ways that the Flexis can be utilised: for a target group, for a whole class end of unit, or for an end of term. But please be aware that the larger you make the Flexi, the longer the assessment is, and this can be challenging for our students. For target groups, you can create multiple Flexis so that you are specifically choosing the indicators for particular groups of students that you wish to enable, or the students who you are teaching at the entitlement or whole class level, and also for our extension students. If you wish to create a Flexi for the end of a unit, just remember that it is tricky to create a Flexi that will adapt or meet the needs for your whole class. And remember, you can only cover 2 stage levels, and dynamic is not a part of a Flexi assessment. An end of term assessment is possible. However, the biggest aspect to recommend around an end of term unit is that it can be quite long, and it will skew your data if you have too many questions, unless you really break up the assessment with your students. Within Managed Class Assessments, we can select the Flexi tab. Here we can see the Flexis for mathematics, which means that it has been an assessment that has been set up across strands. If you have set up a Flexi under a particular strand, it will sit under that strand. So mathematics here has a mixture of whole number and non-spatial measurement. We ensure that when we create our Flexis that we create a really clear title for every element of the Flexi so that other teachers who may wish to use the same Flexi know which Flexi to choose from. To begin a new Flexi, we tap on the plus icon. This will then give us the option to create a new Flexi or preview, add or edit Flexis from our school bank. Let's first of all create a new Flexi assessment. Tapping on Create New, we are going to title and give that Flexi a name. So this one, I'm just going to create one called Sample. But as I said, you will give it a title based on a norm of practice that you are going to create at your school. So it might begin with the term, the stage, the strands, etc. Let's create a mathematics Flexi. We're going to create one for our K to 10 new syllabus. We're going to select a single strand Flexi. So if you choose a multi-strand, you must make sure you are choosing more than one strand. Let's create a number and algebra Flexi, and let's select on early stage 1 and stage 1. When we tap Create New Flexi, we then have the options available that we can choose. We have a minimum that we have to meet. So for our early years, we have 6 indicators required. We can choose our Flexi indicators based on the outcome at the top. By tapping that plus, it will drop the 2 indicators in. So we can go through and base this on what we have been teaching our students. Let's scroll down and choose another one where we have been working with this. This is a year 1 Flexi indicators. So we need to have a minimum of 3 per year level. So it will always direct us to if we need to add more into our Flexi. So depending on what we've been teaching, let's add this one in at kindy level, and let's add a representing on number lines, this one here. You can certainly make the Flexi bigger than this, but just always be aware that we don't want to make it too large, but we've now met the minimum. It will not allow you to save the Flexi until you've met the minimum requirements. So we can save this Flexi now. And then we will see by flicking across to the K to 10 new that our Flexi is sitting there underneath number and algebra. So just always be aware of the heading. The mathematics means we've chosen multi-strands. We're coming across to our number and algebra, and here is our sample. We have the option to edit the flexi, so we certainly can remove or add indicators using that edit pen. We can preview the flexi here by using the magnifying glass because we would like to see how many questions and which questions have been allocated. You cannot change the question types, but you can change the indicators that you wish to choose. So this is a 12 question flexi. It does have 2 points in time, but some people use the flexi at the end of a unit, so the pre becomes their post. Once you are happy with your flexi and you wish to add it to your managed class assessments for your class, you need to tap the plus icon, and that will mean that it has been added to your class there into your managed class assessments. So let's cross out of that now and come back into our managed class assessments, and we are going into our flexi. And we have our sample sitting here under number and algebra. So before, when we logged in as a student, we could see that this one was set in the on position. So please be aware when you're streamlining the student's experience to make sure if you don't have need to have a flexi on, that it is in the off position. So if we wish to allocate this one, we would set that one to the on position. When we click on it, it is exactly the same as our other pre-assessments. When it's turned on, these will be set. We have the magnifying glass here to preview our assessments. If you wish to preview or look at flexis from your school bank, we tap that plus icon again, and this time we select on the other option. So we can go across our syllabus areas. We can go from mathematics, which are the multi-strand assessments, to our strand specific assessments. And just be aware, as I mentioned earlier, it is really important to have a good naming title for our flexis, and any flexis that you wish to load onto your dashboard, because this is done class by class, we're using that plus icon. So that is how we can create a flexi, preview a flexi, add a flexi, or edit a flexi.
Our brand new feature for our New South Wales subscribers for our Flexi assessments is the ability to download our Flexi assessments when created into a paper-based form. So when we come into our class and we are in our managed class assessments, if we have created a Flexi assessment and we would like the option to download the paper form of this assessment, we will click onto the assessment that we've created. So some students may be sitting the assessment in an online form. Some students may be sitting the assessment as a learning adjustment in a paper form, or if we have internet issues, our whole class may be sitting the assessment as a paper-based form. So once it's created, what you need to do to download the paper flexi is to click into a student's name. Now, this is the same flexi for everyone. So we've seen that some students have sat this assessment online, so we've got a result. But this student, Tommy, may be learning adjusted, so we're going to click in here. So we can see the paper-based icon is here, so we can download that assessment. And once we've downloaded the assessment, there will be an ID number in the top left-hand corner, which is the identifying number to be able to upload the assessment. So we wait until the assessment is downloaded. So once we administer that in an paper form to our students, the ID number for this particular assessment was 408. So we've marked the assessment and then we tap the plus, and this was a 20 question assessment. So we would simply put in the ticks for whichever questions the student was able to do correctly. And then we submit the assessment, and this will automatically now generate all of the same information that is generated from an online assessment. We can see that it was paper form by the paper icon. The result or the level is there, the percentage is there, everything else that we see in a paper-based online assessment is then generated onto the student's profile page. The lines underneath here indicate that this was a number and algebra flexi assessment, so it only had one strand. If it's a multi-strand flexi, there will be 2 boxes sitting underneath this overall result, which will have averaged together both if it's 2 strands or more than one strand. It will give a result per strand, and then it averages it out across all those strands here. So just be aware, if you're creating multi-strand of flexies, that's how the results will be appearing for those flexi assessments. So a fantastic new feature for our New South Wales subscribers is the ability to download paper-based flexi assessments once you've created them.